Everyone, so today I would like to explain chapter 18, Teaching Writing, uh, from Teaching by Principle book by Douglas Brown. So let's get started. Research on second language writing. Over the past few decades of research on teaching writing to elder learners, a number of issues have appeared, some of which remain controversial in spite of frames of data on second language writing. Here is a brief look at some of those issues. The first is composing. Written products are often the result of thinking, drafting, and revising, a procedure that requires specialized skills and skills that not every speaker develops naturally. And then process and product. The essence of process writing is one that engages learners in meaningful writing, encourage stages of multiple drafts and revisions, and provides formative feedback through conferencing. And then intercultural rhetoric. English discourse, according to Kaplan, was schematically described as proceeding in a straight line, Semitic writing in a zigzag formation, and then Oriental written discourse in a spiraling line, and so forth. And then differences between L1 and L2. Silva, 1993, note that L2 writer to less planning are less fluent, less accurate, and less effective in stating goals and organizing material, and then differences in using appropriate grammatical and rhetorical. And then authenticity. For a huge proportion of educated people around the world, writing consists of filling out forms, making lists, texting, emailing, sending "we sure here" postcard from a vacation, and many more. And then content and genre-based writing pedagogy. For the huge proportions of educated people around the world, writing consists of feeling. Yeah, it's quite similar with the point before. And then also we have responding to students. As students are encouraged in reading to bring their own schemata to peer on understanding text, and in writing to develop their own ideas, and also offer their own critical analysis, and many more. And then form focused feedback. Researchers have also looked at the efficacy of providing feedback on contests as opposed to form, on how to stimulate revisions on particular grammatical and rhetorical feature, and on students' preferences for feedback. And then we have identity and voice. Once L2 writers progress to intermediate and advanced stages of writing and become capable of expressing and transacting an identity in their their writing takes on personal and unique styles of expressions. Okay, and the characteristic of written language, writer's view. In the previous chapter, that is in chapter 17, some characteristic of written language from the perspective of reader were set forth. So let's revisit those from a writer's viewpoint. This is permanence. Once something is written down and delivered in its final form to its intended audience, the writer abdicates a certain power, the power to change, to clarify, and to withdraw. And then production time. One of the goals, especially if you are teaching in an academic context, would be to train your students to make the best possible use of such time limitation. And then distance. The distance factor requires that might be termed cognitive empathy, in that good readers can read their own writing from the perspective of the mind of the targeted audience. And then orthography. For literate students, if their L1 system is not alphabetic, new symbols have to be produced that may differ from their familiar system. In the L1 has a different system, then some attention is due here. And then complexity. Writers must learn the discourse features of the of a written L2, how to create syntactic and lexical variety, and how to combine sentences and more. Sentence combining can pose some difficulty for learners of English. And the vocabulary. Good writers will learn to take advantage of the richness added in a wide variety of word choices. And then formality. For L2 students, the most complex convention occur in academic writing, where students have to learn how to describe, explain, compare, contrast, illustrate, and all within certain prescribed styles. And then micro and micro skills for writing. And then for the micro skills is are produce graphemes and orthographic patterns of English, and then produce writing at an efficient rate of speed to share the purpose, and then produce an acceptable core of words and use appropriate word order patterns, and then use acceptable grammatical system and express a particular meaning in different grammatical forms. And then for the macro skills, use cohesive devices in written discourse, and then use the rhetorical forms and convention of written discourse, and appropriately accomplish the communicative functions of written text according to form and purpose. And then convey links and connection between events and communicate such a relation as main idea, supporting idea, and new information, and many more. And then distinguish between literal and implied meanings when writing, and then correctly convey culturally specific reference in the context of the written text. And then the last, develop and use a battery of writing strategies. And then, while various genre of written text abound, classroom writing performance is by comparison limited. Consider the following five major categories of classroom writing performance. We have imitative or mechanical writing, intensive or controlled writing, self-writing, display writing, real writing, and also personal. And then principles for teaching writing skills. There are incorporate practices of good writers, balance process and product, account for culture, literary backgrounds, connect reading and writing, provide as much authentic writing as possible, design pre-writing, drafting, and revising stage of writing, and strive to offer techniques that are as interactive as possible, and then be a facilitator, not a judge, in responding to students' writing, and then explain rhetorical formal confessions of writing. Okay, so here we have assessing writing in the classroom. First, about the evaluation checklist. One way to view a writing assessment is through various writing checklists or grids that can indicate to students their areas of strength and weakness. And in many cases, such taxonomies are scoring rubrics. And you can see in the evaluation, the categories for evaluating writing. There are content, organization, discourse, syntax, vocabulary, and mechanics. And then we have writing assessment task. Consider the following writing task list according to their level of linguistic complexity, which may stimulate your own creativity. So in writing assessment task, it has imitative writing and also intensive controlled writing and responsive writing and also extensive writing. Okay, so that's all about the chapter 18. Thank you for your attention and see you.